Welcome to Nature's Way. This is out by our road on Route 39 in Linglestown, Pennsylvania. We've been in business for over 47 years. And we used to have a small sign out here by the road, and now we have this wonderful sign that greets everybody that comes to visit us. And this is where our kids used to sit for waiting for the bus. This is our official bus stop. We also do Japanese garden design and inspired gardens. And this is a little Sukiya type of application for our place. It's a beautiful sunny day in Nature's Way, and this is our entranceway to our display garden and our studio in the background going up the driveway. We also have a solar greenhouse, and that's what we first put in for propagation. Now it's used for tropicals and a little bit of propagation yet. Some specimen trees. And you'll see some examples of what we grow and offer here before we see more later. But just examples of Yamadori, field-grown maples, hornbeam, Rocky Mountain junipers, you see some styled and unstyled trees. I'm going to go into the studio. Please put your mask on for this part of the tour. And this is where we teach. One of the places, the Tokonoma. Some of our tools, repotting and styling some trees, books and magazines we offer, and some friendly fish. Here's examples of specialty pots that I get different places of the world, Japan, China, parts of Europe, and a lot of American potters. Some tools that we've been importing since the 1980s. We have our own line of tools. More specialty items. Sun dries. So we have all the necessary items to create your own bonsai. Personal trees and projects are in our backyard with my wife Libby and I, and we have some trees that you might have seen in display at some of the shows, and we are doing a wonderful project here, for example, of carving. Bill Badley started this, and then I'll complete this one. There's a special place in our backyard where we often meet before we do the physical part of a bonsai, and it's in our yurt, which my son designed and built. And this is where we have events, especially in the spring we have an open house and festival, and in the fall we also have guest artists with workshops and lectures and demonstrations. So this is our seating area. It also doubles as a stage, and this is our area where we do programs, and also doubles as a dance floor. And the yurt faces out into the woods. Our backyard is the woods with a creek. And let's open the door and welcome you to the yurt. My wife Libby, and she often assists and teaches with me. We teach meditation and bonsai, and this is where everyone sits and congregates. We have guest artists and our students that sleep here, as well as Libby and I once in a while. It's air conditioned, has a heater, and you can wake up to the sound of birds in the morning. Well, it's very elevating. Okay, welcome to our nursery. And as we go up the steps, built probably back in the 1980s. This is Leah and Adia, our faithful friends. And they'll be your guides sometimes, although they'll go off and play. I have a little water feature here, which is also Adia's bathtub. And this is where the Yamadori live for the summer. And a tree to welcome you, a Rocky Mountain juniper. And this is our growing area, which we have a great variety of trees. Some imported, a lot of Yamadori are collected material. And Adia is asking us to come in here, so we will. And this is where we grow maples mostly, Japanese maples, linden, trident maple, paperbark maple. And so we have these at different stages of development. And we work in the shade here, and as we prune trees. And this is our post-entry quarantine house where we used to import trees, but now we just use it for our tropical house in the summer and our overwintering house in the winter. We have a selection of our tropicals. Fans are going full blast today because it's a 90-degree day we're filming this. Propane, as you can see, and some specimen trees up here. So this is some of the Yamadori we collect. Either Randy Knight or myself collects these, and they're in various stages of development. Here's a young lodgepole pine, for example, and it might be 30 to 50 years old, but it has a nice start and lots of natural movement. And then we put wire to them and styling them and cabling them. We also have guest artists that work with some of these trees. Here's some more that we have to offer. See different types of spruce, lodgepole pine, limber pine, ponderosa pine, Rocky Mountain junipers, and more. There's also domestic plants such as this one juniper here, for example. Here we're inside one of our 3 hoop houses, which we cover in the winter with white poly, but in the summertime we take the poly off to grow our trees and get natural rainfall and sunlight. We're in high overhead shade here, so the plants that are tolerant of lower light levels are in these areas, but we do move plants around because we have more shade area than light area. And we grow plants, very small plants such as this rooted cutting of a Shimpaku juniper, on up to specimen material and at various stages of growth. We offer classes here year-round and use a lot of this plant material for those. For example, all these plants here are for workshops next year at Grand Rapids, where I'll be teaching literati styles and growing wild and maple development course. So we have different plants for different ways of teaching throughout the year. Come with me and we're going to look at some more plants down here. To the favorite place for people that visit us. They bring their lunch and have lunch here in the shade, in a nice surrounding, and with usually some color happening at some time or another. Hyperium daylilies, for example, are right here, and they're quite fragrant, so they're nice to visit at this time of year. There's some other specimen material that we offer, and trees in development. Some have been recently repotted. And a favorite tree of mine, this is a Kingsville boxwood, which back in about 1975 I planted it in the ground. So it's a pretty old tree, specimen, dug it out of the ground and started developing it for bonsai. Some of these we do use for landscape also, but this one seemed to fit with this rock that I found while I was fishing one day. Thank you for coming and visiting us at Nature's Way, and if you're ever in the area of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, you're more than welcome to visit and see what we have growing.